Om Shanti, everyone. Homeschool Yoga Mom here. Just have a short disclaimer for you before we get started in our yoga class. In all of our videos, we'll be practicing yoga asanas, meditation, and breath awareness techniques. All of these practices involve lengthening and strengthening the muscles, joints, the spine, the skeletal system, organs, glandular systems, the nervous system, everything. All parts of your body will be affected by your practice. So please remember that yoga and any physical exercise is an individual experience. During any part of the video that you participate in, please progress at your own pace, listen to and honor your own body. Rest when you need to rest, get water when you need to get water, and if necessary, please verify with any medical professional that you are able to participate in activities such as these before you get started. And just remember that by participating in the video, you assume your own risks, but please enjoy the class and enjoy the meditation. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Welcome to yoga class. Today we're going to do a little bit of work with our warrior one, triangle. Those will be our peak poses. So we'll work through some of the leg work and extension of the spine through that triangle pose and warrior one today. While we're on the mat, go ahead and sit comfortably. Legs are crossed or maybe folded in a lotus or half lotus position. With the legs stacked on top of the other. Tucking the belly button in, lifting the heart, sitting tall. Hands resting on the knees or in the lap, wherever feels most comfortable. Taking a mental scan through the body from the bottom all the way to the top. Sending the breath to any parts of the body that might need your special attention. Drawing our awareness to the breath itself. Paying attention to that wind sensation that comes in and out through the nose or the mouth, depending on how you're breathing today. Breathing in as deeply, exhaling as evenly as you can, with that awareness at the tip of the nose or the mouth, on that sensation. Trying to draw the breath a little bit deeper. Exhaling just that little bit longer. Drawing our attention, our concentration to our practice today. With every exhale, allowing the muscles to soften in order to prepare for our practice. Including the muscles of the face. Relaxing the jaw and the space between the eyebrows. Taking anywhere from 5 to 10 more breaths here. again, breathing as deeply and evenly as you can. And there's no rush, but after your breaths, between 5 and 10, we'll just allow the fingertips to rest on the sides of the body on the mat to prepare for our first movement. And with the fingertips resting on the mat, on the next inhale, you can start to lift the arms, palms up, reaching the arms over the head. Eyes can stay closed if you like. On the breath out, the palms turn down and the fingertips start to reach back down for the mat. As you're ready to inhale again, flipping the palms back up, reaching the arms up. Palms come together over the head, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Breathing out, fingertips back down. Moving with this at your own pace, with your own breath. Always inhaling as the arms lift up. And exhaling as the arms come back down. Wonderful. Moving at your own pace. And checking in, noticing if the belly button is still tucked in. The heart is lifted, shoulders are down. Feeling lots of length and space that's created in the side body to lift the arms up. This next time that the arms come up, we'll start to change it up just a little bit. Inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, this time, the palms will reach, or they'll face out away from us, the long side of the mat. The elbows will draw down towards the rib cage, drawing the shoulder blades together and back, creating this kind of cactus arms. Inhaling back up, arms overhead. Exhale, drawing the elbows close to the ribs, drawing the shoulder blades together, strengthening that upper back. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Moving at your own pace with your own breath. Maybe 1 or 2 more here, and then we'll hold as the shoulder blades are drawn together on that exhale. So, as you're ready to hold, keeping the heart space open, elbows are drawing towards the ribs, shoulder blades drawing together and back, keeping the belly button tucked in. Remembering to breathe, taking a couple of deep breaths into the belly, and relaxing the arms down by your sides when you're ready. No rush. Now, next we're going to extend our legs out just enough so that we can bring the soles of the feet together. Good. So we want to maybe check in and feel where our sit bones are. So we might want to pull the flesh away from our sit bones, which in common terms just means we have a lot of flesh there, our glute muscles. We just want to pull those away so that we can feel those sit bones resting and feeling right on the mat. Tucking the belly button in, lifting the heart. We're sitting tall. You can notice the heels can draw in, the feet can draw into our hips as far that feels comfortable. And we're trying to draw the knees further down towards the mat. If this is uncomfortable or you feel like your spine cannot lift and extend, we can always sit on a block. And sitting on the block will help to lift the hips up and help to extend the spine. So that's always an option for you if you need. Good. Just lifts the hips up and allows the knees to drop down a little bit more. And then while we're here in this Cobra pose, wherever you find that it's comfortable for you, we can let the fingertips kind of rest on the mat on both sides of our feet. Spine is lifted, belly button tucked in. We're going to start to create a little bit of a forward fold here. So we can start to walk those fingertips forward a little bit, reaching the heart forward and down. We try to keep the spine as long as we can. Good. We stop when we feel that extension, that lengthening on the inside of the thighs, maybe in the hips. Okay, we stop right when we feel that spot start to lengthen, that activation. And then if we like, we can start to lower the heart and the head down even more for forward fold. We're using the breath to release any tension out of the hips. So as we're breathing out, just using some imagery, we're melting away any tension. You can stay as long as you like there, coming up if you need a break, and then you can come back to it, or we can stay where we are. Stay for about another 5 breaths or so. And there's no rush, but after those 5 breaths, we'll start to come out the way we came in. So lifting the head and the body first, walking the fingertips back towards the body, sitting tall. Now if you came up onto a block, you may want to set it to the side now. Just kind of rolling to one side and moving it back down to the mat. We're going to extend one leg in front of us. Maybe checking with the sit bones again. You adjust it, just making sure that they're connected right there on the mat. Now when we extended our leg forward, so she extended her left leg, our left hip might have gone a little bit with that. So we want to check in, lifting that left hip or whatever hip that you extended your leg, and we're going to draw it back just to even it out and square the hips towards that short side of the mat. Where that leg is extended, the foot is activated and flexed so that we feel that extension along the back of the leg. And then we check in with our bent leg. Maybe we can draw that heel closer into the hips. Checking in with that, seeing what's comfortable. Keeping the belly button tucked in and the heart lifted. Again, we can let our fingertips come to rest on the mat. As we keep our heart lifted again, maybe walking our fingertips forward a little bit, deepening that extension in the back of the leg. Going and stopping at that place that feels where it's your edge, the furthest you could go comfortably, keeping the spine nice and long. Wonderful. Breathing, allowing the exhale to soften the muscles in the back of the leg, release any tension. Drawing the heart towards the foot. Couple more breaths here. And then, as there's no rush, but as you're ready to move again, we're going to draw that extended leg back in. Let that sole of the foot meet up with the other one, and then extend the other leg. No rush, we'll just all meet up on the other side. Again, checking in with the hips. Maybe that hip is forward. We're just going to draw that hip back, sliding the whole leg back. Wonderful. Drawing the belly button in, lifting the heart. Maybe that heel of the bent leg can draw a little closer into the hips, just kind of checking in. Fingertips resting on the mat. And heart lifted. We're going to walk those fingertips forward. Start to reach the heart for the foot. Foot is activated and flexed, extending along the back of the leg. Wonderful. And breathe. A few more breaths here. Let's soften any tension in that back of the leg. Our hamstrings can be really tight. Which are when our hamstrings are tight, we can feel that in other parts of the body, especially our back. Inhale, exhale, releasing any tension. As you feel ready, we can draw that foot back, the soles of the feet together again. And as you feel ready, we're actually going to draw the knees together. Maybe find ourselves leaning back a little bit. We're just going to swing our feet around to one side so that we can come to a table pose. Good. So with our knees under our hips and our wrists under or slightly in front of our shoulders, fingers spread wide, second finger reaching forward. We're going to move into some cat-cow, start to move through the spine. So we'll take an inhale at center. Then as we exhale, we scoop the pelvis in, arch the back, tuck the chin, in towards the throat, full exhale. And as you're ready to inhale, again, we roll the tailbone away, press the belly down, heart forward, looking forward. Wonderful. Full inhale. And as you're ready to exhale again, originate all of these movements with the tailbone. So as you're ready to exhale, we scoop that pelvis in, tuck the tailbone in, arch the back. When you're ready to inhale, we roll that tailbone away. Move at your own pace with your own breath. We'll take several of these to warm up the spine. We can always tuck our toes under for a bonus stretch for the feet if we like. It's just an option. Taking as many of these cat-cows that feels good to you, and then we'll meet up at center, back in table pose. Wonderful. When you're back at center, we're going to do the same cat-cow sort of motion, but going side to side. See if we can get a little lateral stretch. So what we'll do is from table, we're going to send our hips over to one side. And then we're going to turn our head and just see if we can peek around our shoulder and see if we can see our hip. And you probably won't see it, and that's okay. And our intention is there, and that's what we're trying to do. Once we're there, we're ready to move again. We're going to come back to center. And then shift our hips over to the other side and try to look over our other shoulder to try to find that hip. And then come back to center. So we're always inhaling to come to center, exhaling as we send the hips over to the side and turn to look. Inhale to center, switch to the other side, exhale. Turn and try to look at the hip. Wonderful. So I'm taking just a few of these side to side movements here. And there's no rush. We'll just take a rest in child before you're ready to move to the next posture. So child's pose is we just press the hips back towards the feet, arms and fingertips reach forward. Good. Now as you feel ready, we can rest in child's pose here as long as you like. As you feel ready, we're going to come back up to table and tuck the toes under and press the hips up, coming to downward facing dog. Wonderful. We can kind of check in with our spacing, maybe shift forward to a plank pose just long enough to see if our hands and feet are further apart enough. Coming back to downward facing dog. Good. Maybe bending the knees, pressing the heels down, rolling the quadriceps away from each other, making sure that the kneecaps are stacked right on top of the ankle. Pressing the heels down, we're pressing one heel down, then the other. Warming up those legs, waking them up through the hamstrings. Looking at the knees, pressing the heart towards the knees. Wonderful. And then as you feel ready to move, we'll walk our hands and feet together and come to a forward fold. Good. We can keep the knees soft here. Maybe shifting our weight forward and back. Seeing if we can center our weight evenly over the feet. And tucking the belly button in. Can we reach the heart towards the knees anymore? Wonderful. And breathe. Maybe we bend one leg and then the other here, just to get a little bit of waking up the legs, the outside of the hips. Making sure that the knees stay on top of the ankles. Beautiful. As you feel ready to come up, we're going to bend the knees enough so that we feel our belly rest right on the thighs. We're going to sweep our arms up out to the side, keep the belly button tucked in as we press with our legs up, reach the arms overhead, great big inhale. As we exhale, we're letting the arms rest down to the side, coming to mountain. Wonderful. Maybe finding mountain pose for just a breath or two. Awesome. We're going to move into the challenge of our class today, our warrior one and our triangle. So let's find a place towards the front edge of our mat, the front short side. We just need enough space to step back behind us and grab some space behind us. Okay. So we're going to check in from the bottom all the way up to the top before we move. So we're going to maybe lift the toes, spread the toes wide, shift the weight back and forth. Try to center the weight over the feet. Tuck the belly button in, lift the heart, standing tall. And we can let the hands come to rest on the hips. And we're going to step back with one foot, just so that our toes touch behind us. So we're going to keep our hips squared to that short side of the mat. Don't let that hip, that leg that you step back with, don't let that hip go with it. And then as you're ready, we'll drop the heel down. Again, making sure that our hips are squared. We're just going to take a quick peek down at our feet and make sure that they're aligned more like railroad tracks and not on a tightrope. Wonderful. We can bend into that front knee, keeping the knee over top of the ankle. And if you like to bend and straighten a couple of times before we find stillness in that with our leg bent, that's fine. Kind of work through that knee joint, get some fluid moving in there. And as you're ready to find stillness, we keep that knee bent, knee is right over the ankle, hips are squared. We're going to tuck belly button in, lift the heart. And we're in warrior one here. If we like any other challenge for our arms, we could reach the arms forward, palms facing together, thumbs are reaching up. If you tend to have high blood pressure, this is where you'll stay. But if not, if you'd like to lift your arms up over the head, you can keep the shoulders down, reaching the arms up. Beautiful. And breathe. We can stay with our shoulders and hips stacked together. Or if we'd like to lift that heart a little bit more and create a little bit of a back bend, just make sure that that back bend comes from the middle of the back and not the low back. with the belly button tucked in, it should help to prevent against that. Beautiful. And breathe. Taking just a couple more breaths here. As you feel ready, let the hands come back to the hips again, and we're going to straighten that front leg in order to come to triangle. So she has her left foot forward. So with whatever foot is forward, we're going to turn our hips away from that leg. So with her left foot forward, she's going to open up her hips over to the right. Okay, both legs are still straight but not locked, so your knees can have they can be soft. Okay. Now from here, we're going to try to keep our shoulders and our hips in alignment as we start to lower the shoulder down towards our front foot. Good. Or we can have a block. Here, I'm just going to put it here just in case. But that's where it would go if you wanted it. Right on the inside of the front foot. Good. Try to keep the spine nice and long. Wonderful. And so the heart is the part that's opened up to that long side of the mat. Now we're going to keep that opening. If this feels good, we can extend our top arm, maybe reach it up over the head, or you can stay with the hand resting on the hips. That's fine. Wonderful. So we're feeling nice lengthening through the inner thigh. We're kind of crunching and squeezing down on that left side oblique if your left leg is forward, and extending through that outside right hip, through the hole, through the side body. Wonderful. And breathe. Maybe a couple more breaths here. As you feel ready to move again, we're going to turn and square our hips back towards the short side of the mat. Go ahead and lifting up, lifting the heart. Beautiful. We're going to try to revolve our triangle now. So with our left leg forward, first we opened up to the right. We're actually going to try to open up our heart space to the left now. So it creates a little bit of a twist. And we're still going to try to see if we can reach the right arm now down towards that block or a space on our leg. So maybe our arm only touches our thigh for this twist. Maybe it walks down a little bit towards the knee and the shin. Wonderful. That's great. Awesome. So see how she's not sacrificing her alignment just to see if she can get further down. You want to keep that heart space open up to the left. The spine is nice and long, belly button tucked in. And if it feels good, you can lift that left arm and reach it up over the head. Wonderful. And breathe. Stay here as long as you like. Find that challenge, your edge, plus one breath. And then as you feel ready, we'll come back to center, turning the body back to center. Hips are squared again. Keeping the belly button tucked in, we can lift the heart. And we'll step up on that, come up on the back heel. You can just kind of lift the toes and kind of walk that back foot forward or just reach the foot forward. Wonderful. And then we'll switch sides. So you can keep your block there next to your foot or just kind of set it off to the side. We're going to find mountain pose again, just kind of lifting the toes, maybe adjusting the weight, centering the weight over our feet, tucking the belly button in, lifting the heart, just finding that mountain pose again. Finding our preparation. Beautiful. And then as you feel ready, we'll switch feet and we'll step back with the other foot now, just reaching the toes, allowing the hips to stay square towards the short side of the mat, dropping that heel down. Good. Maybe bending and straightening into that front knee a couple of times. Get some fluid moving through there as well. And then as you feel ready to find stillness in this pose, we're going to keep that knee bent. And the hips are squared to the short side of the mat. Tuck the belly button in, lift the heart. We are here in our warrior one pose. And I forgot to mention on the other side, but notice the extension that you also feel. So we're strengthening this front leg and the quadricep, but we're also feeling an extension through the front of the hip on the other side. Beautiful. We can stay here, or we can reach the arms in front of us. Fingertips reaching forward, palms facing each other. Or if it's comfortable and safe for us, we can lift the arms up over the head, keeping the shoulders down, keeping the belly button tucked in. Good. I don't know if you could see that, but I saw when you checked in and tucked your belly button, and I could see your whole body lifting up. That was awesome. Good. So if that's comfortable, we can start to, again, belly button tucked in. We can start to reach back, maybe create a little bit of a back bend coming from the middle back. Find that challenge. When we find that back bend, we're lengthening the whole front of the body as well. So we're finding extension and length in our abdomen as well. Pulling up, lifting the heart. Staying as long as you like, coming back, centering the shoulders back over top of the hips when you're ready. Good. And as you feel ready, bringing the hands back to the hips. We're going to find triangle again. So this time, she has her right foot forward. We're going to try to open up that heart and hip space over to the left. Good. And we're going to see if we can reach that right shoulder down towards that foot or the knee. Trying to keep the spine nice and long. Legs are straight or just a little bit soft, not bent. Good. And with that heart and hip space open to the left, and we're kind of squeezing down those right obliques, finding length out of the left hip and the side body. If that feels comfortable, we can lift that left arm up. Our gaze can be fixed either right in front of us, down at our foot, or if it's comfortable, looking up at that top hand. Find what's comfortable for your neck. Straight. Feels different. All right, and then here. Your arm is coming back a little bit. So yeah, let's look forward at that wall and then kind of wiggle your fingers. See if you can see your fingers. If not, let's bring it forward a little bit. And then once you can see your fingertips, then you can fix your gaze back where you want it. We just don't want this arm to come back too far. There's actually a nerve running through the back in the shoulder here that will stop us from breathing if we squeeze on it too far. So I don't want anyone passing out. So make sure you can see your fingertips wiggling there in your peripheral. Good. Good, and then as you feel ready, we're going to lift back up and then square our hips back over that short side of the mat. Good, and then we're going to open up to the other side. So turning over to the right, try to open up that hip and heart space there. And again, we're now reaching that left hand down for our right leg. Maybe it just rests on our thigh. Help keep our heart space open. Maybe it walks down a little bit to try to reach towards the shin or the calf. Keeping the belly button tucked in and the heart lifted and open. Good. Awesome. I could see you were just there. You went down and then you checked in. You kind of zipped it up with your tucking the belly button in, lifting the heart, and your body came up. So that's good. And then if our arm is comfortable, we can lift up that top arm. Wonderful. And breathe. Just a little bit of twist here. Stay as long as you like. Lifting the heart back up and squaring the hips back towards the short side of the mat when you're ready. There's no rush. Good. And then to come back up, we'll just lift up on that back heel. Maybe just step the toes forward or one at a time, or just take one big step. Feet are even again. Wonderful. Let's move into a balance pose, so tree pose. And let's see, I think we face me. Folks at home will be able to see our tree pose a little bit better. Awesome. So again, for a balanced pose, we can stay on the mat, off the mat, just kind of finding what surface under your feet feels good to you that you can grip on. Okay, finding mountain pose again. Spreading the toes, centering the weight over the feet, tucking the belly button in, lifting the heart. Hands can rest on the hips. And pick one leg to start. And we're going to just pick up that heel. Let that foot come slide over and it will connect to our standing leg. And we'll just slide that foot up our standing leg until we find a spot that that foot can rest. Okay, while we're keeping our hips square. Okay, we can open up that knee out to the side if we haven't already. Good. Keeping the belly button tucked in. The heart is lifted. Making sure that our foot is not pressing in on the knee of our supporting leg. Wonderful. And breathe. Finding that focal point, something that you can focus on that will not move. Once you feel stable in the lower body, you can start to experiment with your arms. Maybe reaching one arm or both arms out to the side or up. Maybe those cactus arms that we worked with a little bit earlier. Maybe both arms overhead, palms together. Just kind of finding that challenge. However you move your arms, it will increase your challenge for your balance. And remembering to breathe. Sending the breath down to the belly, down to that center of gravity to help keep you balanced. Beautiful. Just a few more breaths. Three more breaths. After your breaths, we can draw the arms in where they were, so maybe hands resting back on the hips again, or at Namaste prayer pose. We'll draw our knee back towards the center, lift that knee up as high as it will go, flex the foot, gently press it back down. Wonderful. Roll out that standing ankle, maybe take a couple of marching steps, whatever feels good to you, in between each side. Awesome. Checking in with our mountain pose again, spreading the toes, tucking the belly button in, lifting the heart, and then lifting the heel of the other foot. Letting that foot slide up the leg. Letting that spot our foot can rest. And then opening the knee out to the side without letting the hip open up. The hips need to stay squared. You can practice your tree against a wall, and then with your hips resting on the wall, then you know that your hips have not moved. So the wall can be a prop as well if you choose. Good. Once you feel stable in the lower body, finding a place where your arms can go, that challenge. Keeping the belly button tucked in, heart lifted, sending the breath down to the belly. And then breathe. Beautiful. Just a few more breaths here. 3 more breaths. After those 3 breaths, moving the arms first, maybe drawing the hands back towards the hips, drawing that knee back towards center, lifting it up as high as it will go, and then gently pressing it back down. Rolling out that standing ankle, taking out a couple of marching steps, whatever feels good. Awesome. Good job. It was about a minute on each side. So awesome. Awesome job. All right, let's face the short side of the mat again. We're going to work our way back down to the floor where we can cool down. Wonderful. So on our next inhale, we can sweep the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to keep our belly button tucked in and our heart lifted as we press the heart forward, bending into like maybe an airplane. Let's stay here for just a challenge. We're about halfway down, half forward fold. Our arms drop to the side like airplane wings, drawing the shoulder blades together, belly button tucked in. Just taking a couple of breaths here, find that challenge for the core. Releasing all the way down to the mat when you're ready. Beautiful, finding the forward fold, keeping the knees soft. Maybe centering the weight over the feet. Maybe bending one knee and then the other, just ever so gently here. Maybe also holding the elbows. Provides a little bit of extra weight for the upper body to be folded over the lower body. As you feel ready, we can bend the knees, let the hands come to rest on the mat. We'll just walk our feet backwards, coming to a downward facing dog. You may come to a plank first, and then press the hips up in downward facing dog. Wonderful. Again, maybe pedaling the feet, pressing one heel down then the other in this downward dog. We're just resting, finding that resting state, stillness here. Good. Lengthening the back of the legs, pressing the heart towards the knees. Awesome. Awesome. From here, we're going to come into a pigeon for a nice release for our hips. So we'll come to a three-legged dog. Just pick one leg, and we'll just lift it out behind us, squeezing in on that glute, not letting the hip lift up with it. And then we'll hug that knee into the chest as we start to shift our weight forward like we're coming into plank pose. And we can rest our knee down on the mat. So one leg is behind us, one is here hugged into us, the knee is bent. We can start to walk our foot. So she has her right leg forward. We're going to start to walk her right foot over towards her left hand. Like we're trying to make our right shin parallel to the front edge of the mat. It may not be that way, and that's fine. One day that might be our goal. Good. With our palms resting on the mat, you can maybe walk them back a little bit. Keep the belly button tucked in. We're creating a little bit of a back bend here. Maybe walking that back leg back any further if we feel like we could. Good. Enjoying that back bend for a couple of breaths. As you feel ready, we can start to walk the fingertips forward and create a forward fold right over top of our legs. So maybe we come down to the elbows. Good. I'm going to check in with some props here. So we want our hips to try to stay even. If you feel like your one hip, so she has her right leg forward now. Her right hip is kind of sagging. You can put a block right under her hip here. This looks pretty good. Does it feel okay to you? Okay, so this one looks pretty good. She doesn't need it on this side. But as you forward fold, you can stay on the elbows, or if you'd like to come any further down, you can also use the block under the forehead. I'm actually going to go ahead and give you that. And so what that's going to do, if you see, it's going to help keep the spine nice and flat, nice and long. It's going to keep the neck right in alignment with the rest of her spine. Wonderful. And enjoy. This is a hip release. So we always, as humans, we carry all of our stress and our tension in our hips and our shoulders. This is a great release for that tension. So it's about finding that comfortable place where you can forward fold to allow for that release. And we can use the breath. We're just going to breathe deeply into the belly here. On that exhale, seeing if we can relax and release the tension, soften the muscles. Trying to stay in this pose at least for maybe another minute on each side. Anytime you need to make an adjustment for comfort, go ahead and make that adjustment. Breathing deeply and evenly. And there's no rush, but as you feel ready to come out of the pigeon on this side, we can start to walk the hands back towards our foot, lifting the body, lifting the heart, maybe finding that back bend once again. Good. And then as you feel ready, we're going to see if we can walk that foot back over under our leg, under our right hip. Good. And we're going to tuck that back toe under, see if we can lift that leg, the back leg, see if we can lift the front leg, press back, maybe find three-legged dog, and then find downward facing dog again. Good. We're just using downward facing dog to transition in between these, maybe pedal the feet, drop one heel then the other. Keep finding what feels good here in downward facing dog. And then as you feel ready, we can switch sides, so lifting that opposite leg up, squeezing on the glute, finding three-legged dog. As you feel ready, on the next exhale, we're going to hug that knee in, shift the weight forward like we're coming to plank. We're going to rest that knee down on the mat. Good. And once we're there, we can maybe start to walk our foot, now the left foot for us, walking it over to the right hand. Good. And if we can see here, so your left hip sags here on this side. So we're going to go ahead and take this block and just rest it right under here. Is that in a good spot? Does that feel okay? Good. So that's going to stop her left hip from sagging down to the ground. So we want her hips to stay even and not at an angle. Beautiful. So we can come up to the fingertips, maybe walk those fingertips back. Keep the belly button tucked in as we lift the heart on that little back bend. Feel the length of our back leg, the front of the hip there. Then as we feel ready, we can walk those fingertips forward, finding our forward fold in pigeon. Maybe coming down to the elbows first. Maybe that's where we stay. Or maybe we can lower our head down to the block of the floor. You can always change the height of the block. So maybe it doesn't go down as far on the side. We can flip it on its side and try another height. Just kind of finding what's comfortable to you. And breathe. Again, trying to go for about a minute on each side. Again, using the breath to help soften and melt away any tension that you're carrying around with you in the hips. Adjusting for comfort as you need. Beautiful. And then as you feel ready, you can start to lift up again, maybe walking fingertips back, pressing up, maybe finding that back bend one more time. Beautiful. And then as you're ready, we can tuck that back toe under. So you can lift the back leg. I'm going to go ahead and move this block out of your way. We can walk our foot back under our hip. Good. And we can lift up and press back, coming to downward facing dog or three-legged dog. Touch it, send your leg up. Good. Maybe pedaling through the feet once more. Finding what feels good here in this downward facing dog. Good. As you feel ready from downward facing dog, we're going to go ahead and shift forward into a plank. We find our challenge here for just a few breaths. Shoulders roll back, drawn down the back, shoulder blades together, tuck the belly button in. And then as you feel ready, we're going to keep the elbows close. We can drop down to the knees if we need to. We're going to lower the upper body down slowly, keeping the elbows close, lowering the heart down towards the mat for Cobra. Wonderful. So we can come to a rest and lay the forehead or the side of the face down before we come to a full Cobra. And I would advise that actually, so we're going to check in with the body. So the tops of our feet are resting on the mat. We're going to see if we can keep our inner thighs drawn together. Good. We're going to keep the belly button tucked in. And our hands should be resting right under our shoulders, keeping the elbows close like cricket wings. And then as we feel ready, we can lift our head and our forehead off the mat. And how we do that is we're using our upper back muscles. So we start to lift, and we feel the squeeze, drawing the shoulder blades together. And our test is if we were to lift up our hands, we would still be able to stay lifted because we're using our upper back and not our hands to keep us lifted. Just a quick test, and you can rest the hands back down. Beautiful. And let's take a rest. We'll rest the forehead down, or if you turn to the side of the face, switch to the other side this time, just to get an even stretch for the neck. We'll come to it, relax. And then we'll come to our Cobra one more time when you're ready. Okay, so checking in from the bottom all the way up to the top, where the inner thighs still drawn together. Belly button tucked in, lifting the forehead and the heart. See if we can lift the heart off the mat. Wonderful. You got it just a little bit more. That's awesome. Strengthening that upper back. And let's see if from here, this is a baby cobra. So we're doing a lot of work here. We're lifting and strengthening. Let's see if we can actually use our hands now and press up. Seeing how high we can press comfortably, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. We're lengthening the whole front of the body, lengthening the hips, the abdomen, lifting the heart. Beautiful. And breathe. Staying as long as you like, lowering down when you're ready. Beautiful. And when you lower down for that rest, either resting the forehead or turning the head again to the opposite side. We're only going to be here just long enough for a breath or two, because we're actually going to take our rest in child's pose. So as you feel ready from this transition, we're just going to, again, press into the hands, press up into a table pose, and keep coming back, coming to child. You might feel the hands slide back. Wonderful. We can rest the forehead on the mat. And then here in this child's pose, this time we're going to see if we can walk the hands over to each side, creating a lateral stretch here. Trying to keep the hips pressed down evenly, the shoulders pressed down evenly. Feeling an extension in the side body from our hip all the way up to our arm. Staying as long as you like on each side. Moving and switching when you're ready. There's no rush, but we'll just meet back up at the center with the fingertips reaching forward towards that short side of the mat. You want to try to feel evenly lengthened on both sides there. So beautiful. From here, we're actually going to flip over onto our back. So if we'd like to come up to table pose, and then we can swing our feet around, or just however it is comfortably for you to kind of gently move and roll over onto your back from here. We can reach our legs long, reach our arms over our head. Great, big extension, reaching fingertips and toes away from each other. On the exhale, swing the arms around, hug the knees into the body. Maybe even lift the head or the shoulders off the mat. Really giving ourselves a big hug. As we're ready to inhale again, we extend. Arms are long, reaching the arms overhead. And as you're ready to exhale, hugging everything in again. So we can take several of these or a few of these, whatever feels good to you, just to kind of bring everything back at center, preparing for Svanasana. There's no rush, just the next time you're extended, you can just allow the arms to rest down by the sides. And if you have any props that you'd like for your relaxation, you can get those now or have somebody help set you up for those. Okay, I'm going to set her up with a chair. So I'm going to put your feet good. I'll slide the chair close to her hips so the back of her knees rest right there. Is that close enough? Okay. She has an eye pillow for her face, which actually helps to encourage relaxation and block out any extra light that you might have. Also have a blanket to keep from getting too cold too fast. We don't want to undo any of the goodness that we've done for our body today. Okay. Wonderful. So the arms can be down by the sides, palm up or palm down, resting on the belly. Find that comfortable place where you can begin your Svanasana.
And now we've reached the end of our practice, where we can start to settle in for deep relaxation. Extending the body out on your mat, allowing the feet to reach out towards the corners, and the arms can rest down by the side, lifting the palms up, allowing the body to settle into the mat, feeling the shoulder blades press gently, the hips settle, starting to take a mental walk through the body, starting from the bottom, working your way up to the top. Stopping to send your breath to any places in the body that need your special attention. Using the exhale to melt away and soften any tension that might still be lingering in the body. Starting to slow down enough to pay attention to the breath. Noticing where the breath is in the body. Maybe the belly expands or the heart lifts. Just noticing it first. Drawing your awareness closer to that wind sensation that you notice and feel as the breath falls in and out of the nose or the mouth, depending on how you're breathing today. With every inhale and exhale, drawing your awareness closer to that sensation. Efforting towards drawing the breath in deeper, exhaling longer. As you inhale, allowing the belly to expand on all sides. Exhale, pressing all of the air out, creating lots of space for the next inhale. Inhaling fully again. Exhaling evenly, or pressing that exhale a little bit longer than the inhale, encouraging the relaxation response in the body. Continuing with this effort of the belly breath and the awareness of the sensation of the wind of breath coming in and out. You can stay in this deep relaxation for as long as it feels comfortable to you. Remembering that when you arise from your meditation and your deep relaxation, to move gently, arise slowly. And enjoy the sense of peace that you can take with you off of the mat and into your daily life. Om Shanti.